It's a forgotten game of winners, with only one loser.
It was the greatest sport ever played, and I was lucky enough to be its announcer from 1991 to 2020. I even got to call games in the heyday. I called games for Buck McMackey.
You all saw me out there, dominating. You saw the way I wouldn't catch a ball to save my life. As soon as the ball hit my hands, boom, in somebody else's hands before they can even think about tackling me.
Buck was one of the greatest in this or any era. In 11 seasons, he was only smeared once.
A game where only the strongest survived.
You know, when I was a kid, my father would take us to Grambo Field every Saturday. Those players were like gods to us, you know? I used to sit and watch them play, and I dream of going pro like them someday myself. You know, for one shining moment, I did that. Until the league went under. Sorry, Pops.
The last game I ever called was July 6th, 2020. And to me, that's the day that professional sports died in America.
It's unclear where the game originated. Some say Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. Others say Southie in Boston. But most likely, it was in Philadelphia when some kids were playing football and decided they wanted to have cheesesteaks.
It was lunchtime and one of the kids goes, "Hey, let's go to Gino's for a cheesesteak." This other kid goes, "I don't want a cheesesteak, I'm vegetarian." And then boom! Just like that, smear the queer was invented.
The game was brilliant in its simplicity. You threw the ball up in the air, it landed next to somebody, and now they're the queer. They have to pick it up and get rid of it or else... Once it became a professional sport, Smear the Queer swept the nation. Everybody had a team. The Topeka Baptists, the New England Rastafarians, the San Diego Stepdads. It was a cultural phenomenon.
The stadiums were packed every Saturday. And the rules were simple. The home team would come out, have 6 innings to smear their queer. Then it goes to the visitors, they have 7 outings to smear theirs.
Get all the analytics and the overcoaching. It was a simple game. Whoever smeared the most queers won. It was an honor to be a part of an STQL dynasty. It was more than a game, man. It was an American institution.
In 2015, the league instituted a new rule where teams could now choose one player to be queer the whole game.
Yeah, back then I was warming the bench in the Wyoming Pistol Whippers and feeling pretty down on myself. But then Coach came and took me aside and said, "You are the all-time queer." Made me feel pretty good. I think every team after that in the league had an all-time queer. But it took its toll.
This is what they signed up for, man. Nobody made you be queer. You knew what you were getting yourself into. You signed up to be the queer, and I signed up to smash the queer. Like what? Like, come on now. This is how the game was played back then.
Suddenly there was just all this new information about head injuries, and people were getting more and more concerned.
I was asked to study the brains of several retired all-time queers from the STQL. And, well, if you look over here, we have an example of healthy, unsmeared brain tissue. And then what? And then you're just going to cut to that? Or do you notice the coloring? It's a healthy purple. Whereas this slide is the brain tissue of a retired all-time queer. I think it speaks for itself.
I don't want to hear all that industry mumbo jumbo about doctors and lawyers, and every time you eat a cheeseburger, does somebody say, "Oh, we're causing heart attacks across the country"? No, you know what? This is what people want. People want to eat a cheeseburger and they want to smear a queer. This is what America. This is America. Like, well, I don't understand what this retrospective is about, frankly.
I'm fine with it. The whole thing is what doing with the queens.
The name's not what's problematic about this. Do you understand? Kill the guy with the ball doesn't. You're killing a man. In fact, smear sounds a little bit too light for what they are doing.
I always say the Jews are worth the thing.
I've made it my life's mission to put an end to the all-time queer. Especially after the Felix Grahams incident of '94.
Felix Grahams was all-time queer for the Miami Pink Sox. Things got out of control and he was smeared to death. Many people called the incident a hate crime, and gay rights groups started protesting at every game. That's when attendance got thinner and thinner.
Whoa, hey, no.
Juice versus squeeze. Juice versus squeeze.
With an ongoing concussion scandal and changing social attitudes, it seemed like things couldn't get any worse for the STQL. But no one was prepared for what happened next.
We limped along until 2020, then COVID hit. That changed everything.
In accordance with CDC guidelines, on-field social distancing rules were implemented, and players had to stand 6 feet apart at all times. And since then, it's just not the game we grew up with.
When the league folded, a lot of players didn't have anything to fall back on. Some went into podcasting, others law enforcement. Still, there were others who tried to move on as if nothing had ever happened, and that's when Smear the Queer went underground. Men would lie to their families to go out and do what they loved.
Like, you have to understand one thing. I don't smoke, I don't drink, okay? My only addiction was smearing the queer.
We were all heartbroken. But you just gotta lick your wounds and move on, I suppose. But when the league ended, the silver lining is it gave me a chance to be a father.
Oh, your kids still play Smear the Queer then?
Oh, I don't have custody.
Critics, man, they can say whatever they want, all right? It's not like I got my father killed from not paying my gambling debts, all right? Like, it was Smear the Queer. Buck was paid to smear the queer, and Buck was the best in the world at doing it. And it was a different time, and I get all that, but you know what? If they asked me to do it again today, I would do it in a heartbeat. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to go lead a high-speed chase and maybe end my own life. All right? Would that make you happy, critics? Blame it on the CTE.
I think this game always be remembered as a national disgrace.
If you could go back in time, would you do it all over again?
All day. All day. All day. All day.
I'm actually still playing. They started a new league in Uganda.